What should a reasonable person consider when a government grants indemnity to a vaccine maker and also a doctor administering these injections? What should we be thinking?
Um, my personal view and perspective is accountability, culpability. So my position is, and I've raised this with a couple of people challenging the laws around these injections, nurses actually. I raised it with them. I said I'd be writing back to the employer and saying if they want to mandate this, fill a disclaimer and say that they're fully accountable if you have any side effects, because we know there are. We know there's massive. We already know historically compared to all previous vaccines. I think some of the quote was that there've been more side effects from these particular things than all of the vaccinations of all time. Some of the figures are quite concerning for what we're seeing. So in my view, they should be held fully culpable. Like any organisation that's not going to be held financially accountable for what they're doing is an organisation you shouldn't be dealing with, because everything's about being responsible. It goes against the Hippocratic Oath for doctors. It's absolutely disgraceful that somebody should even call themselves a doctor if they're going to indemnify themselves from any responsibility for someone's health. I mean, think about that for a moment and think about it deeply. A doctor that is indemnified or is protected from any accountability from what happens to you. I mean, what is that? Like if I give someone advice or help them, particularly with a health issue, I feel very responsible for their health and welfare. That's why they've come to me. If they come to me as a minister for counsel, it's paramount to me to look after that person. Like I'm a pastor. My job is to shepherd people and to protect them and to listen to their grievances and to share in their journeys and to help and support them. Anyone that comes in with a disclaimer is nothing short of diabolical. It's disgraceful. It's actually evil. So these companies, these big pharmaceutical companies, they're greed. They're driven by greed, selfishness, and greed. It's appalling. I personally, I mean, very clearly my decision. I will not have one of these injections. And to me, it's like you may as well. I'd rather, well, I just, it's just disgraceful. I'm going to use my common law rights, and I think everyone else should. We're going to have to stand our ground, Jason, with this. It's a massive time for people. We do have to look to the positives too, because as terrible as everything is, people are having to rise to the occasion now. And we are, I'd say, I quoted it a lot, but J.D. Krishnamurti is said to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society is no measure of health. Our society has become so profoundly sick now that most people only solution for their health is to get medications from pharmaceutical companies and allopathics, and doctors simply sign off on tablets. There's no holistic viewing to holistic way of helping people. They're completely avoiding the fundamentals of health and good food and diet, and let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. I think it's Hippocrates. They're missing the fundamentals of these things. No one's looking into the holistic emotional damage from abuse and some of the things that mess up people's mental health, and the fact that fear itself that the government is propagating is responsible for more pain and suffering than any alleged virus. We have to There's positives in a very negative situation here, and that people are now rising to the occasion. We need a new paradigm. We need to positively shift. We're moving out of a very, very difficult time, and this is really the peak of the bullshit. Like it's really come to this point now where everyone's going like, how did this happen? How did it get this messed up? So we have an opportunity now to move into a new paradigm, and we have to do it quickly, and we're being forced into it. Like Creator is forcing us into this positive change. So people everywhere that I know are now moving into resilience. People are now growing their food. People are now working really a lot quicker on those solar panels or any other alternative way to get energy. Everyone's coming together on regional communities going, you know what, stuff it. People are going, we have religious freedoms. You can't just override them with Section 116 of the Constitution. The right to pray, the right to sing, the right to joy, the right to dance. All of these fundamental rights that make us what we are. People are going, look, they cannot take these things away. This is a consent-based thing, right? The devil wants consent. He needs your consent. So don't consent. Do it lawfully. Do it joyfully. And let's be the change we want to see in the world, as Gandhi put so well.